Welcome to How to Yu-Gi-Oh!
Let's explain board breaker ratio.
Chapter 1.
Okay, so in this video, I'm going to talk about board breakers and the appropriate ratios you should have for them. With that being said, let's get on with the rest of the video.
Chapter 2.
Let us begin. So as you can see on the screen, you got to realize that when it comes to the extra deck in Yu-Gi-Oh, you only have 15 cards that you're allowed in the extra deck. And the usual ratios are 12, are not around enough usually, and the other 3 cards should be used for as an extra deck board breaker. So 2, and then the other one being like, a super poly target. So
That's really convenient.
one of those 2s being, an extra board breaker like a spell or trap removal, another card that destroys a card, and then you have the Underworld Goddess. That's the ideal scenario. But when your deck is a competitive deck, then usually 10 is enough. And if it's and then the rest some of it can be split into engine, half engine, and then half 3 engine, and then 2 the extra deck board breaker. And if it's a deck that uses a lot of engine, then usually 5 is enough for engine, and then 10 can be used for other things, and you don't even need an extra deck board breaker at that point. So the common links that you should have in your extra deck in an ideal scenario are Nightmare Phoenix and Nightmare Cerberus, the Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, giving you a way to break boards or to break the back row. These are very popular and are something that you can put in your extra deck at any time. So yeah, the maximum being 2 for an extra
2 is the best number for this job.
deck board breaker, and that's usually the magic number. 2 is the magic number. And that's all I've got to say, so let's move on to other extra deck board breakers.
Chapter 3.
And here we have other extra deck board clearance cards, like Topologic Bomber Dragon, Topologic Trisbana, and Topologic Zoroboros. Looking at these 3 links, you would think that these cards would be useful in board clearance in an extra deck. But you find that these cards are not particularly useful. Usually spell or trap removal is downright enough if it's in the main deck. Now, while in the extra deck, these are useful, but unless it's a specific strategy or unless you're doing something specific, usually you are not going to play the Topologic Bomber, Trisbana, or Zoroboros. They use up a lot of resources as they're Link 4s and Link 3s respectively, whereas Link 2 is usually the ideal for being an extra deck board breaker. So while the Topologic family is useful, it is not really used as extra deck board breaking. Bear this in mind. So these are not cards you should consider for board breaking in your extra deck. Definitely check this out unless you're a particular deck that admires destroying your own cards, banishing your own cards, etc. Let's move on.
Chapter 5.
Okay, and we have here the best Synchro 8 extra deck monsters are Scarlight, the Red Dragon Archfiend, and Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. These are really good in terms of like being extra deck, monsters that you can use to clear cards. Definitely staples if you want extra deck monsters that destroy obviously special summon monsters and attack position monsters, and are not too hard on the resources. Now, while these are the best for being a Synchro 8, there's not much there, and the maximum is 2.
2 is the best number for this job.
Which is enough, and that's all I've really got to say here. Let's move on to the XYZ side of things.
Chapter 6.
And here, as you can see in front of you, we have XYZs. So, Raid Raptor Blaze Falcon, Raid Raptor Rising Rebellion Falcon, and Tornado Dragon. Tornado Dragon is a card that you can, I think you play just two of, possibly. Generally just a one of, as it can destroy back row and it's a great rank 4. The other cards, we don't really use them very often, Blaze Falcon and Rebellion Falcon. While the Tornado Dragon is a staple that you should expect to see it in most extra decks, especially as a rank 4 toolbox. So yeah, still the same, keep it at a maximum of 2, possibly, and that's the way. Let's move on.
Chapter 7.
And here we have the fusion monsters, Elemental Hero Absolute Zero, making that, and then when it leaves the field, destroying all monsters the opponent controls, and Masked Hero Acid, being able to just destroy all back row the opponent controls. Great with the Mask Change card, as you can use this to just simultaneously destroy opponent's monsters and back row. So fantastic card and a great fusion potential for elemental heroes, just for hero deck in general. And that is it. So I'm gonna just repeat again that when it comes to extra deck, monsters in the extra deck maximum board breaker will be just 2. 2 is enough. 2 is the magic number. That's it. Let's get on with the next slide.
Chapter 7.
Here we are. As you can see in front of you, maximum 1 extra deck summon. What does this mean? When it comes to board breaking in Yu-Gi-Oh!, and especially when it comes to just clearing the board, having 5-headed dragon with Super Poly and a DNA surgery is a bit ideal, but you can get to clear the opponent's board as all of their monsters can be dragons with DNA surgery and just contact fuse the entire board as you have Super Poly and they cannot respond to that, which is great and absolutely fantastic.
Nice!
And again, a card like this, you need obviously 2 cards in the extra deck. This is a bit of ideal. Usually, 90% of the time, Super Poly is enough. But, a card like DNA Surgery, maybe the game is a bit slower, sure. But, if you've got other cards that can change types of your opponent's cards, then you can use this in your extra deck and it can go really quite far. In the next slide, you can see Clockwork Knight, which can turn all your opponent's machines, all your opponent's monsters into machines. Definitely. Using a Cyber Dragon, you can contact fuse by sending those materials in either player's field and just contact fusing. Since this is a way to just clear the board with the Cyber Dragon, it's great, it's fantastic. You can go into it with a Link 1, so definitely a potential there. And again, you'd only play a maximum of 1 of these cards, which is the Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. Great card. And that's all I've really got to say here.
Chapter 8.
All right. And in front of you, you can see a maximum of 3 to 6 spell and trap cards. These are spells and traps that are used as board breakers: Lightning Storm, Dark Ruler, Raigeki, and Dark Hole. Usually, Lightning Storm, you'd play a playset of it, which is 3.
3 is just right.
Dark Ruler, you'd play another playset, which is 3. Raigeki is the same. Dark Hole, yeah, the same. You don't need so much. You'd only play 6 if you had Triple Tactics Thrust with there as well. So you'd play 3 Thrust and then 3 of one of these back row removal cards or board clearance cards. That's why, hence, maximum of 3 to 6 spell or traps is usually enough. And if we go into the next slide here, when it comes to Forbidden Crown, Forbidden Droplet, Ultimate Slayer, and Harpy's Feather Duster, these are cards indeed that you would use 3 of. Just a 3 of would be enough as a board breaker. Forbidden Crown, 3 of that is enough. Forbidden Droplet, 3 of them are enough in your deck. Ultimate Slayer, the same thing. And Harpy's Feather Duster, the same thing. You don't need more than 3 here, and 3 is the magic number. Indeed, that is the case. And when we go to the next slide as well here, we go into Hey Trunade, Weybridge, and Evenly Matched. Hey Trunade is great as a 3 of, which you could play in the side. Weybridge the same, and Evenly Matched the same thing, as you can put that in the side. Again, these are 3 ofs that you can put in the side. Maybe a 6 of accompanying thrust, but generally you'd play 3 copies of this card in the side, and you would definitely not main this. So if we go back to the previous slides, we have the Lightning Storm, which is a 3 of, a Dark Ruler, which is a 3 of, Raigeki, which is a 3 of, and Dark Hole, which is a 3 of. With the next slide here, we have Crown, which is a 3 of, Droplet, which is a 3 of, Ultimate Slayer, which is a 3 of, and Harpy's Feather Duster, which is a 3 of. And the final slide, we have Hey Trunade, which is a 3 of, Weybridge, which is a 3 of, and Evenly Matched, which is a 3 of. In the last slide of Hey Trunade, these would go in the side deck. With the others, these could go in the side or main, depending on the deck that you play. And these others would definitely go in the side. Lightning Storm, Dark Ruler, Raigeki, and Dark Hole. And that is generally it.
Final chapter.
And so here we are at the conclusion. So what I want to say about the ratios of board breakers, it's that 3 is the magic number when it comes to spells and traps. 2 is the magic number when it comes to extra deck monsters that board break, and 1 comes to contact fusing for when they're used for contact fusion, i.e. the Super Poly into 5-headed dragon, or the Chimera Tech fusion monster with Clockwork Knight. So 3, 2 to 2 to 1 are the magic numbers when it comes to these things. And another thing I'd like to say is that the board breaking in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a skill that when you put into your deck is extremely important, as more than 3 board breaking cards in your deck usually will result in the deck not playing optimally, which is why I say when it comes to spells and traps, 3 is the magic number. Not only will you be able to get those cards in a balanced way in time, especially if it is 40 cards, but even still, too many board breakers will not really help your deck and will allow your deck to break more often. In fact, this is a very common mistake when it comes to new players, as they put a lot of board breakers to clear monsters and spells and traps, which is not necessarily a good thing, right? 3 again for spells and traps is perfect. 2 for the extra deck is absolutely perfect, whatever it is, whether it's Link, Synchro, Fusion, or XYZ. And 1 is great for if it's a contact fusion like, Underworld Goddess, or 5-headed dragon, or the Chimera Tech machine fusion monster that I showcased earlier. And that's really it, really. So tune in next time as I talk about more things on this channel. Hope to see you soon.
We come to the end of this video. So, as I like to say, you are one step closer to becoming a Yu-Gi-Oh! Master. My fate, right, is in your hands.